What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. I'm not. Oh man. We got a problem. We're either getting scammed or we just don't know how to condition cards. And that's what I wanted to go over today. We got our first kind of big eBay return. Wanted to go over that, see what goes on with there. Kind of go over the process too, because I've had like one or two little small mistakes with some eBay orders, but this is the first big one. A little clickbaity on the title, but it was about $100, $120 order. So we're gonna take a look, see who's wrong, and go from there. So before we get into the nitty gritty and what happened, if you do not know who I am, my name is Bronzgod, and I sell trading cards on Tcgplayer and eBay. We've been averaging about $40,000 a year in sales, mostly in bulk, looking to ramp that up in the end of last half of this year. In addition, we do have two other channels, one where I'm losing a bunch of weight and one where we will eventually be playing some games. So if either of those interest you, links are in the description. I do have a couple of affiliate codes as well. If you want to save a little money, I can make a little money, and then we both win. So one of my first collections I bought, it was about an $1,800 collection. Actually, it was probably about $2,300, $2,400. Ended up buying it for around $1,700 or $1,800. And there was a lot of like mild play, light play, a couple heavily played cards. And I thought I conditioned everything pretty well. And I haven't had an issue with any of the cards so far. But there have been one or two where I went to go list them, and I realized like at the last minute, like there was maybe a little light scratch here, maybe a little indent here that I wasn't really paying attention to. And of all the things in this business that you really can't skimp on, it's conditioning. Conditioning is important. And I'm learning every day that goes by that it's even more important with eBay. Even scanning cards can, people will nitpick. And this may be a situation where nitpicking was it's my fault, but it is what it is. If I misconditioned it, it's fine. I'm hoping that's the case. I don't want to be scammed out a bunch of money. The other thing I'm learning too is, and a few people have told me, is I like to customer service is my thing. I like doing customer service. It's a premier thing. I answer a lot of messages, and I've been learning that I should probably leave alone the hey, can you kind of get some extra pictures of the back of the card, or hey this, hey that. Just the picture that I have should be the picture that I have, and I should just let it roll. Because, people will buy cards to try to grade them. I think most people who sell on eBay are going to keep cards that they think are gradable themselves and send them in themselves. So the likelihood of them being gradable copies doesn't really warrant the extra time to send pictures, but the one or two times that I have, I'll just take that as a learning experience of maybe next time not doing that. But we're going to get the package out real quick. We're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see if this is my fault or if this is a Scamaz situation. So let me go grab it real quick, and we'll go check it out. All right. So we're doing this a little fast casual. Didn't want to get this all set up. Here's the package. I left the label on the other side to not dox whoever this is. I went to go look at it, and I was like, might as well just review it. Let's see what we can do. So, here's the card right there. Perfect. So the card in question was the Paldea Evolved Maushold. This thing has actually gone up quite a bit. It was like a $34 card. Now this thing's like pushing 100, 110 bucks. It was near mint, and he said that there was a crease, and I'm not really sure where the crease would be. So we're going to try to see. Top looks good. Oh, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but I see it. Yeah, I missed it. It's like right above my finger there. There. Okay, you might be able to see it with that shine, but it's like right there. Yeah, there it is. Shoot. Well, yeah, you can't really see it from the back either. Well, that sucks. Yeah, so we're going to have to go ahead and just refund that and kind of take that one on the chin. Not really much you can do in those situations. We're just going to have to take an L on this one and, learning experience. Probably the first big conditioning screw up I've had, at least on the eBay side of things. Every now and then I must say, you know, a light play versus near mint card on Tcgplayer or whatnot. But otherwise, I'm usually pretty solid. But that just goes to show, I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this business, there's going to be things that you miss. And there's going to be crow you have to eat. This is one of those situations. So we're going to send him a nice, you know, apologetic message. I'm a little mad. Because I don't know what the eBay return policy is. I should probably look, but it's like been a month and a half. It's probably been like 6 weeks since it's gone out. So I would have liked to have known, you know, a little sooner before, you know, the money's been in and out. But the one thing I did learn is that with eBay, you know, they don't really take the money out of your actual bank account right away. They'll let the funds, like if it goes in the negative, like it will sit there for a day or two, you know, so that way if you have any other sales, those sales can eat up the money that you would owe. But the question is, what do I do with the card now? Because I'm not one that likes to sell, at least modern stuff, less than near mint. So I'm thinking that stuff like that is what I might use for my master sets. You know, it might be a good binder copy. If I bought it for whatever percentage and I sell it at a light play price, I could probably break even. I don't know. It's something to think about. But you know, as you can tell, I'm like really bummed with myself. But like I said, it is what it is. You know, it's you do what you can. You know, 99 cards out of 100 go out and are good, and one you fail on. It's going to happen when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of cards, of tens of hundreds of orders. Something's going to go wrong eventually, and it really just what ultimately matters is how you handle it and how you deal with it. I could have definitely been like, hey, idiot, why'd you wait 6 weeks to say something? Seems kind of fishy, blah, 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 and really start kind of putting it on the buyer. But ultimately, it's my screw up. I misconditioned it. It's pretty obvious I misconditioned it. It was still in the same sleeve that I sent, the same top loader that I sent it in. So, you know, the evidence is there that nothing crazy was happening. So, yeah, we'll just have to do a little better. And when I say that, we finally got to sorting. That's all the like base set, Neo, whatever. And there is a lot. I don't think there's a near mint card in the stack. I would say about 10% of that stuff is light play or lower. So we're really going to have to spend probably a day that we have off, really making sure that we get those conditioned properly for when we put them on eBay, because that's going to probably be all eBay stuff. I've been sitting on it for too long, but there's some really good stuff in there. So we'll get that listed this weekend. And there's not much you can do. So let me know in the comments. Have you guys ever had any big woes like that where you thought you had a card clocked perfectly and then you get a complaint and then have to refund? How do you handle your refunds on eBay? Do you usually, are you a little more open to the buyer being potentially right? Are you pretty skeptical going into it no matter what? I'd love to hear what your fishing stories are when it comes to eBay and returns. Now that I've got my first notch on the old belt of doing something silly, hopefully we go a while before we get a second one. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me know what you think, and I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.